Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I'm a therapist in the Seattle, Washington area with my practice, Next Chapter Counseling. And today I'm going to be walking you through the different components of how to effectively apologize to someone. So this is something that can be used not only with your romantic partner, but with nearly anyone in your life, whether it's friends, family members, coworkers, your kids, whoever it is. Knowing how to apologize effectively is a really important skill to have. So, I'm going to talk about 3 different components that make up an effective apology. And if you can check all 3 of these boxes, you're there. Your apology is hopefully a really sincere one and one that will make a lasting impact on the person that you're apologizing for, or apologizing to, I guess I should say. And it's something where if you realize that you're missing any of these 3 components when you've apologized in the past, you can make a mental note of that so that you can remember each piece moving forward. So the first piece that's really important to an effective apology is to know what you are apologizing for. This may sound a little simple or obvious, and yet a lot of times there are people who apologize because it's a knee-jerk reaction. It's almost like a reflex for them to apologize. They're apologizing because they want to avoid conflict. They're apologizing just because they don't want that person to be upset with them anymore. They're basically hoping that by saying the words, "I'm sorry," that this situation will be able to just go away a little bit. But it's really important to say what you're apologizing for. And what I mean by that is to pick what specific behavior or action you did that you regret, that you wish you had done differently, that if you could have a do-over, it would go another way this time around because you've realized that you could have handled it better or done something different. So it's really important to be clear on what that is, to be apologizing for something that was observable, if that makes sense. So when people do say apologies like, "Well, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings," someone's hurt feelings isn't observable, and that's not something that you are taking responsibility for. Like, it's not an action that you did. It's like apologizing for the other person's experience, and you want to be apologizing for your part in some of what transpired. So this could look like saying, "I apologize that I raised my voice at you. I'm sorry that I called you that name," whatever it is. "I'm sorry that I didn't do the dishes when I said that I would and I didn't follow through on my word." Being specific about what it is that you wish you had done differently. That's really important to make sure you know what you are actually apologizing for. And again, making sure that this is coming from a sincere place, something that you genuinely wish that you had done differently. Not just thinking to yourself, "Oh, well, I know that they're mad at me because I did this, so that's what I'm going to apologize for." Make sure that you've actually done some time to realize the error that occurred and have it be something that you genuinely want to make right. This will become important with the third component I'm going to talk about. So that's the first one. Know what you're apologizing for. The second thing is to make sure that when you are apologizing, make sure that your body language shows that you want to genuinely convey the message that you're giving and show compassion and concern for the other person. Make eye contact, speak slowly, speak calmly. And if it's appropriate, if the person you're apologizing for might appreciate this, having some kind of touch involved can also really help communicate your message, whether it's like holding their hand when you're saying these words and looking them in the eye. Make sure that your body language and your tone of voice conveys that you are genuinely sorry. You can say all the right words, but if your body language is dismissive or shows that you don't really care, it's kind of a blunt way to put it, but if your body language basically shows that you're not taking this seriously and that you're not getting a little softer, it's going to be hard for the person you're apologizing to really believe what you're saying, because actions speak louder than words, as they say. So it's important to make sure that your actions really communicate that you have regret about what happened, and that you are sorry for your part in what occurred. So make sure your body language really conveys that. This is going to look different for everyone, depending on what feels natural or comfortable for you. But make sure that you are showing in your own way that you really mean what you're saying. Communicate that through your body language as you're apologizing. The third and final component is to not just apologize for what has occurred, like I talked about in the first part, but to now say what you are going to work on or what you are going to do differently in the future. So it may be something where you're apologizing for the fact that you got frustrated and maybe raised your voice at your partner. Maybe that's what you're apologizing for. And now this third piece, after you've apologized for that, what's occurred in the past, now you might say something like, next time in the future, if I feel myself getting frustrated, I'm just going to walk away so that I don't wind up yelling again. Whatever it may be, say something that you're going to work on or something that you're going to do differently to try to prevent this situation from reoccurring. None of us are perfect people. This doesn't mean that you are saying that this will never occur again, but you are making a genuine, heartfelt commitment to working on it. And it's important to be specific here with what you are going to try to do better. Not just to say, I'm going to work on that, or, I'll do my best to make sure it doesn't happen again. But what's going to be different? What's it going to look like next time? Being really clear on what change you want to make and saying that to your partner. Making sure it's something that feels realistic to do. Don't promise them the moon and the stars is sometimes a thing that I say. Make sure that it's something that you think you can actually work on so that if you find yourselves in this situation again, you're in a position where you can follow through on the thing that you are now telling them you are going to try to do differently. So those are the three components. First, know specifically what you're apologizing for, what action you did that you are sorry about. Second, make sure that your body language clearly communicates that you are genuinely apologizing and that you genuinely take accountability for your part in what happened. And third, make a commitment to doing something different in the future. If you put all three of those things together, you have an effective apology. So think about for yourself with apologies you've done in the past if one or more of those have been missing and how you can try to implement them in the future. If you have a question for me about love or relationships, send me an email at nextchapter.michelle@gmail.com and I'll answer it in a future video. Thanks, everyone.